Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Leslie. If you haven't been here before and you've wandered across my little corner of the internet. What are we doing today? Well, quite simply, I'm answering a few things, covering the bases again today. So, I think I will start with the simplest question. All right. Do I need a laser cutter, Leslie, to do the designs that you do? And the simple answer is no. I mean, if you want them out of wood and you're not good with a scroll saw, skill saw, whatever it's called, I know I'm not, then you probably do. But there are lots of places that offer both types of files for one item, and I'm going to show you. Let's go down. So what I mean about that is that I went on Creative Fabrica and I downloaded this little guy. I have not done anything with him except paint him for the sake of time on this video. Now this little guy came with different types of files. So if you didn't have the ability to use wood to get him done, you could pull up, the SVG and use your Cricut. So I did both ways. And I want to show you something. You can do this on both types of files, okay? But what I did was I did the background of wood just like it's meant to be done. So you could see the little dots, the little snowflakes. Did the same thing here. The way I did this was paper, a pen in my Cricut, and away we go. This was an SVG. This was the cutting file for my laser cutter, which I can never remember the name of. Please don't ask me. But then I did something else. This, to me, is just a little too busy to have these things in it. So, just because it was too much for me, you don't have to do this, I removed that in the Cricut program, and now this can line up right along there and be glued. Like I said, just use your pen and just get it glued on. You could color the parts of your bear in. You could use markers. You could use acrylic paints. You could leave it this way, okay? Your bear could be a totally different color. Your background could be different, and you could cut out the eyes and the nose if that's what you want to do. Possibilities are endless on both of these, but they will make very cute Christmas ornaments. Now, to finish my wooden one, this was a spare piece. It cut around this. I am supposed to get rid of this, okay? Then we have a couple of snowflakes. So what I am doing is, instead of getting rid of it, I am going to pop it around like so. Okay, be very gentle when doing this part and removing it from the sheet of wood that you use, because it is a thin cut and it would be breakable. This I used 1/4-inch birch to be sure to give it a strong background. And this is 1/8 basswood. Sorry, I had to pause, get my bees all mixed up there. And so I am going to use this extra piece this red piece that you're supposed to discard, I'm going to put it on. It adds some dimension and it adds some color, and I don't have to worry about painting underneath of it. Now, you could leave it like this. You could paint your snowflakes white and be done. I chose to keep the disposable snowflakes. I'm not placing them there perfectly. Paint them white and use them for even more dimension. Okay? The choices are many. I will use some super glue. I will glue them together. And then for my wood, I'm going to varnish so that it lasts a long time. How did I do the coloring for that piece? I used acrylic markers that I found cheap on the Amazon. So I use them a lot. I am better with being able to hold a marker than I am trying to paint with a paintbrush anymore. That is just the honest to goodness truth. My hands shake. So I will place these on the table over here. And just know these will be glued together and sealed. Now for my paper one, of course, I'm going to glue it together. To seal it, well, we've got some choices. We don't have to seal it, but I want it to last a long time. So I am even thinking we could laminate it, right? Do I want to do that and have to cut around it? I'm not sure. I could put the laminate into the Cricut and try to cut it by itself, but I don't think that would work. So I think what I will probably end up doing is just doing it this way, and maybe even instead of using it as a tree ornament, using it as a gift tag. I could use this one as a gift tag too if you want reusable tags year after year. So there are some ideas for those. Don't forget the chipboard. Don't forget the cardboard. Don't forget felt. Endless possibilities from Creative Fabrica, because they're always tucking little extras into their files, right? Now, if you want the size on those, they were 3.326 by 3.892, and that is the little bear piece. And then the big background piece is 3.6 by 4.245. So just be careful to size them both at the same time so they keep fitting, okay? And then you can use a hook or a ribbon to hang. Now, we're going to go on to the next thing, which will be our wax seals. People are wondering, do I still use my wax seals? I use them a lot. I use them in two different ways. I'm going to take this folder here, this envelope, sorry, and I will show you the first way that I use my wax seals. And I do my wax seals right onto the glass or into the mat. Let me grab my supplies here. I have them set aside. For our demo today, and for an upcoming project, I needed a snowflake seal. So, there we go. One snowflake seal. And it was in the July 2024 kit. But you know what? You can get lots of different ones. It doesn't have to be the snowflake. You can get lots of them from Amazon. Possibilities are endless. Oh, before I move on, sorry guys, this was the first piece of wood that I used for the background. This is all I used. It came from the dollar store. Sorry, guys. Okay, so wax seals. I love using my wax seals. And there are many different ways to use them, but we're going to go with the basic today, the 2 basic ways. Oh, come on, you can't be out. I love when my hands are having a bad arthritis day and things don't want to muscle up. Okay, I'll just set that over there. Put this in here. I am using the bundle that I received in this month, or last month, sorry, September's kit, and it is the, which one is it? 4 colors, 100 beads of wax. I love these colors together. So I will get them melting. Make sure I get some of each in there. Wouldn't be any good if I had all of one color. And you know, it seems like, I'll show you here in a moment, like I've put a lot of wax in. But when it melts down, you'd be surprised at just how much wax that is. And of course, I'll need my stamp. I like to keep all my goodies together, as you know. Now, some of you have asked, you've bought the wax seal kits. What do I do with them? I have put them onto, I have taken twine. I've laid it out nice and straight, taped it down on a piece of parchment paper, not wax paper, parchment paper. And I have gone ahead and I have dropped the hot wax on it and done this stamping, let it cool, pulled it off and continued on, and used it on a mini tree as ornaments, like garland. I have gone ahead and I have used it to seal an envelope. And I have used it in the corner of scrapbook pages or on a card. Or how else have I used it? Oh, after a while, everything starts to blur together when you've crafted for years and years. But there are always uses. And the key to it is, if you're not sure what to do, ask somebody like myself. Or go ahead and look on YouTube. YouTube comes up with fantastic ideas. I think I will take just a moment to let this finish melting, and I will be right back. Okay, everyone, we have just about finished melting. And yes, I am ordering an electric wax seal melter. I'm finally run out of the candles. And I'm going to go ahead and just order myself one of them so that I don't have to worry about waiting so long. Sometimes the wait for them to melt feels like forever. There's one stubborn piece in here I will show you in 1 second. I am going to grab a pinpoint here. And I will bring this into focus. There is one stubborn piece of white right there. So I am just going to start swirling. Just kind of mixing the colors through each other. I go very gentle when I do this. And there we go. Now today I am going to use a silicone mold. And I'm going to pour straight into it. So here we go. I'm just going to keep pouring. Now I will let it adjust. We'll see if I've poured enough. Drop it in the middle. Now the key is do not touch it. Okay, there we go. One side wasn't quite down. So how do I stick them to my envelope? I could have taken, poured straight, whoop, let me grab, let's just grab this one since this is an example envelope and it doesn't really matter. I will grab this one out here. You can pour it straight onto the paper. I'm not sure I'll have enough, but I'll give you a basic idea. And you can stamp. You could leave it like that on the paper and let it be its own seal. Or you could stamp directly on the paper like so, and it would seal it closed. It does not burn the paper, okay? Oh. Oy, oy, oy. When you want it to light, it won't. And when you don't want it to be lit, it won't go out. There we go. Cool down. Now, the other thing that I love using them for is to melt. Whoops. And I will take the last little bits. They come very slowly. And I will use them to make my own little beads. Now this part I would do on parchment, okay? I wouldn't do it on the paper normally. But you can make your own little decorative beads for your projects with what remains in your scoop. You know, use up those last bits. Pull them forward like so. And use them up just to make little decorative beads to use on projects. So there is that. This will all wash up later. I'm not worried about that. Now this one should be done, so let's have a look. It pulls nicely out of the mold. There is how the bottom looks. And I'm just going to put my mold over there. Then I very carefully, in case it is still a bit soft, work my way around. And that completes the mold. And we have our stamp. Our snowflake is in there. And now, if I wanted to, I could take a white pen and highlight it. But that is what it would look like on your envelope. Now, let's have a look at this one. He's a bit small and lopsided, but like I said, he's just an example that you can do it directly on the paper. Or like I said, touch of glue, it's on. Rewarm your bottom a little bit and push it on if you want. Possibilities are endless. So let me just clean this part up and we will carry on. Okay, guys, we're going to move on now to a question that I had that is very important for me to answer. And that is, what do I need to use a Glimmer Hot Foil System? Somebody, a viewer, is fortunate enough that they are going to be receiving the Glimmer Hot Foil System for Christmas. And so they've started watching the videos. You know, we always say, watch the YouTube. But guess what? Sometimes YouTube is a little overwhelming. And she got very overwhelmed. So I am going to break it down basically. The first thing you need to be sure you have before you even consider one of these is to have a die cut machine that can handle it. Something like the Spellbinders machine if you're getting the Glimmer system. You need the pressure, even though your foil, which is a heat activated foil, will be warm and your plate will be hot. You still need the pressure to bring the two together to create the image that you want, okay? So this one happens to be Spellbinders. And then, of course, you need the hot foil machine itself, which is very simple to use. What comes with it? You get the machine, you get these two plates, very important, do not lose. You get something to set your hot dies on. I'm going to call them dies, but okay, let me move this over here out of the way of heat. Then what do you get? You also get some sample foil, some sample dies, and this handy dandy tool, which you will see me use a lot. It is magnetic and picks up those hot dies for you. Here's an example of the dies that I got. And there is one that I used. Okay. I always keep the ones that I have used so that I can later on use them in a project. So what do we do first? Well, in order to use this lovely machine, you have to pick your dies, which I did. I picked these two because I have an upcoming project. This is the die that we are going to heat up. This is the Glimmer die. This is the die that they kindly supply that will cut it out, so it will be needed later. Okay, I might not even cut it out on the film. It's getting a little long. So now, what do I do? Well, here we go. Turn the machine on. Just like any other machine, power it up. And then we are going to wait for the green light. So I'll tip up here. We have power, ready, and timer. When that green light comes on is when we are going to take our Glimmer die and place it on there. And this one is Joyful Holly from July of 2024. Okay, and what I'm actually going to end up making is some Christmas cards. So that is why I have chosen this one. So I have my cardstock. This is nice 100-pound cardstock. And I have Glimmer Foil aluminum. Okay? Heat activated. So if you're on Amazon and you're looking, you need not toner activated, heat activated. I'm going to move this off of here out of the way for now. I will bring it back after. It does take a few minutes to warm up, but the advantage to it is the fact that once it warms up, it's quick to move on to your next project. Things to discuss. Caution, hot surface, avoid contact. Yes, it is hot. It never gets hot enough to cause a burn if you're not laying your hands on it full time. That is a hint, okay, guys? Would I leave it in the hands of a child and wander off into my studio kitchen? No, absolutely not. I will stay by it. Do I leave it plugged in but turned off? No, absolutely not. Nothing in my studio that can warm up, laser cut, heat press, whatever the case may be, remains plugged in. Some people tell me I'm extra paranoid. That's fine. I don't mind being extra paranoid if it means that I'm safe. Okay, guys, I'm going to pause and I will come back when the green light is on. Okay, so our green light is on. And for those of you wondering what temperature it is, we will get a reading here in just a moment. It is approximately 24 degrees. 24? Sorry. Yeah, about 24 degrees. Sorry, 24. Let me try this again. 234 degrees Fahrenheit. So definitely hot and not meant to be attended to by only a child. Okay? So green light on. Now we are going to preheat our plate. So we want to put the plate face up. Now this is the way I do it. There are many ways that people do it. But I place this on here. And then I hit the timer light. And you will see that it is flashing. And now I just wait. Now some people wait with it not covered and others cover it. I do not cover it. Why? As far as I'm concerned, these are meant to go through the cutting machine, not to be heated up for long periods of time. I don't know. I could be totally wrong. But this is the way that I am comfortable doing it. There is, of course, an instruction manual that you can follow. No worries, no concerns, right? This was the way that I was taught, so this is the way that I'm comfortable and choose to go. Now, remember, this is going to get extremely hot, so you have been given the ability to pick it up without having to touch it with your hands. Okay, our timer light is on. Solid. So what we are going to do now is I am going to lay, the foil face down, pretty side down, however you want to put it. Okay, first of all, I'm going to move my leaf down, or my holly down a little bit. Right there, okay? Then I'm going to place my, let me see if I got room here for you to, or I'll do it here. No worries. Place my cardstock exactly where I want it. Then the thin shim. It is marked thin shim. Goes on next. Thick shim. Pull off. And run through the die cut machine just the way that it is. Now some people prefer to go ahead and place their cardstock and their shims on when it is on the die cut machine, and that is fine. It is however you want to do it. Ugh. So now we run it through the die cut machine. I can turn it off. I can go ahead, place that over there, place it back on the bed, and very carefully, without burning myself, I will lift that up, and you can tell that it worked. The pressure has done its job. And I will lift this up and place it on the little pad that comes in the box with the glimmer machine. So there we go. You need those pieces. You need the foil. You need a die that works in the glimmer machine, and you will be all set to go. Now, I will show you how it turned out and what its purpose is, because you're going to think that it's strange. There we go. Do I throw this away? No. I can now place this on a piece of cardstock, heat up the cardstock, and end up, let me turn this over for a moment before I give you a close-up, placing or heating it up, and this would be the design that I would have with all the gold, and then the negative would be white. So waste not, want not. I will keep that. As for this, you could use it like this. You could color it in as a card front. You could cut it out. Sorry. Like so, since you already have your machine out, right? And then, excuse me, there is another alternative. This is the Jolly Holly stencil, layering stencil. And the best part was this all came in the same kit in July, or was it July? Yes, of 2024. So this lays, sorry, it's hard to do backwards, as you can imagine, I'm sure. This just lays right over the leaves, and you can go ahead, whoops, no, I've got it the wrong way, this way. You can go ahead and you can color your leaves in with your inks. I love that. So we have that one. Many uses for the glimmer, and as you saw, very easy to use. It's already cool and safe to put away. So that is our glimmer machine. Now, some of you ask, how do I use my stencils to make them look good and unique? Well, once again, we are going to use the July 2024 stencil. Sorry, I had to hold it up to read. Eyes aren't what they used to be. And it is called Sprigs and Bow. And I will show you a quick idea for my stencils. Number one, I mark my stencils. How do I do it? Little Sharpie in the corner. Layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to. But I have a lot of stencils, so it makes it much easier than trying to remember. Alrighty, let's pretend that I have done layer 1 and layer 2. And I will do them. I will do them for you so you get a good look. I take my paper and I cut it to the size of my stencil, and then I will grab a dark green, a light green, because these are the leaves. So let's grab us a light green and let's go for it. And this is all it takes. Now, I did see somebody on the YouTube who likes to color theirs in using pastels. That works. You could also, if you do not want to buy stencils, but you have a Cricut, you could cut your stencils out, right? You can make stencils with a Cricut. Now, I have a darker green, so I will line my stems up. Oops. Just like so. Let me see here. Where are you? It takes me a minute to figure out which way they go, but once I do, that is the only tricky part for me, is figuring out exactly where they are going to lay. But once you get it on there, it's quite easy to do. I just take the darker green and away we go. And we will have stems for our holly. And then comes the part that I do that you can do for sure and is a little bit different than just the inking. So there we go. As you can see, I should tape, but you know, for the sake of time, because this video is getting long, we are not taping. Now let's get us lined up here. Our third and final stencil. We will just line her up. Let's say on one spot. It'll only take one to show you how she works. Okay, so what am I doing that's a little bit different? I am using my lunar paste. And for this, I think I will, give me half a second. This is when I wish my glass mat was magnetic. But I will grab some of this tape. Oh, apparently I was not good at ripping it that time. And I will tape it. Just because working on a glass mat can be more than a little slippery. So right there like that. Give it a quick tape. Now, the reason I taped it, because I am using the lunar paste in the color Bee Sting, I am just going to keep it solid. Now, what am I doing? I don't have a palette knife on hand. It went the way of, oh, let's clean up the craft room and forget where we put everything, right? But I had a spare Cricut scraper here, which isn't going to work the best, but it will give you the idea of what I'm talking about. So use things like lunar paste. Use your markers, line up and just use your markers in the circle. They too will work. It might not be perfect because I didn't have a flexible palette knife, but it will give you the general idea. Like I said, line up your markers if you don't want the kids playing with your lunar paste. Use markers. Like these ones here. This happens to be a Cricut marker, but you get the general gist. Then we just lift it off, and we have created a background with dimension. You could intermix the use of your markers with the use of the lunar paste just to get different effects. So there we go, guys. We have covered a lot of ground today. Let us have a look. We have covered using stencils in a different way with our lunar paste. With Christmas coming, I know you guys are going to be getting a lot of new stuff, right? So let's do it. We have covered using our wax seals on our envelopes, in our projects, whatever the case may be. We have covered you making ornaments for the tree and using the same files, or supplier, I guess I should say. Maybe making name tags that match the ornaments to the tree. We have covered, excuse me, oh my goodness, I think I'm losing my voice. We have covered making the, where did you go? Glimmer piece. So I hope that answers all your questions. How to get variations, how to create matching items, how to use your wax seals in different ways. Don't forget, little dots you could melt your wax and make your berries that way. You would just have to refer to the picture to see where the berries go and put your wax dots on like that, or put them wherever you want them. Does not matter, right? So there we go. We have covered from wood to paper to foiling to stenciling, all in one video. I hope this helps you guys decide what you might like to get for Christmas. I hope that if you were steering towards the glimmer and did not realize that you needed a die cut machine, that you keep that in mind, and just be sure to check your sizes so the one you do get fits the glimmer machine. Okay? Take care, and I will see you in whatever comes next. Bye.